Okay, so for those of you who are watching this, I'm responding to another gentleman's in a wheelchair response to the idiocracy that took place on TNA this past Thursday. Now, I have a little different view on it, but as you can tell from the start of the video, I myself am in a wheelchair. Now, let me get the camera in the right spot, and I will proceed to say what I was going to say. Now, I completely agree with what you said, Mr. I don't know what your name is. I 110% agree. But I do have a different thing to look at from the other side of the coin. Now, it was tasteless and stupid and arbitrary and ignorant and so many other words that I can pick out of the dictionary of them, or anything like of the matter to do like that, regardless of using big fancy words. It was just stupid. Okay, so I've made it clear that I totally agree with you. But at the same time, I, much like you, although I don't know if our conditions are the same, I've been in a wheelchair my whole life as well. Now, what you have to do in times like this is do what I learned to do over my years of being like this. It was stupid. I don't agree with it. But you laugh at it. Because there's nothing else you can do. So you laugh at it and you go, wow, those guys are fucking stupid. There's no real point in being angry, because that just illustrates that all that does is get you riled up about something that ain't gonna do any good. I totally agree with you, and it just illustrates how stupid they are, and whoever is in charge creatively needs to get fucking bitch slapped. I didn't take offense to it. I could see how others would, but I didn't take offense to it because I am very laid back, and I've learned over my years to let several things slide off my back per se. And I appreciate that you know, ha- had the right, had the gumption to come out and say something. But you have to learn to laugh at those things because, I mean, you are right. You have to deal with your situation, whatever your disability is. It doesn't matter what you have. You have to deal with it each day of your life, whether it's by birth or by some horrible accident. You have to deal with it. But you just laugh at those people that are that stupid. You don't get angry. Sure, you lose a couple of you, you lose some respect for TNA. I lost respect for TNA a long time ago. I wasn't a real big fan of them to begin with, but early TNA, when it was more about the X Division and the acrobatics and a lot of the no-namers busting their ass and putting on good matches, you know, that's what TNA was all about. But the point I'm trying to make here is a fellow person that has a handicap of their own is it's nothing to really, get upset about. You have every right in the world to point your finger and say, hey, they're stupid. But you're going to run into people like that, you know, throughout the rest of your life. And the sooner people learn that, not directly pointing at the gentleman that posted the original version of this video, I am merely posting a response. You just got to learn for anybody that watches it, other than if the gentleman watches it or anybody else, anybody that has any kind of affliction or any problem, any disability or uh, or disease, because some see, people have the common misconception of, like, there's diseases which get progressively worse, and then there's conditions which for the most part stay the same throughout your entire life. I happen to have cerebral palsy, so that more or less is a condition that doesn't really get worse, other than your hands doing this. Now, they didn't always, my hands didn't always do this. Over time, they got worse. So what? What are you going to do? I learned at a very young age, you don't focus on what you don't have, and you appreciate what you do have. I have great family, good friends. I focus on that. Yeah, I might not be able to get up and run and do a 40-yard dash and play football or soccer, but you know what? I get some pretty awesome parking spots. I get a lot of shit for I get a lot of shit at discounts because of my situation. I guess it's the government's way of saying sorry you're like this. So, you get you get to go through lines faster. They treat you pretty well when you go just about anywhere. And anybody that doesn't treat you well, then you got a lawsuit on your hands. You just gotta focus on the good things that come out of it. Focus on the good things in your life. Forget about all the lamers and the idiots that post the stupid shit like what we saw on this past TNA. I won't necessarily stop watching TNA completely because I hope that it will come back to what it once was. But I lose a lot of respect to whoever's in charge of booking. Whether it be Hulk Hogan or Eric Bischoff or Dixie Carter, or maybe it's somebody that chooses to remain, behind the scenes and doesn't want anyone to know that it has anything to do with it. Maybe it's Vince Russo. Sounds like Vince Russo to me. Anybody that knows anything about wrestling debacles and how to screw something up. Vince Russo is the fucking antichrist of wrestling booking. Dear God, that man is fucking horrible. I mean, years ago, back one of the Bash at the Beaches or some WCW pay-per-view, years ago you had Hulk Hogan stand in the middle of the ring when they were throwing garbage and everything, and he blatantly said right out in front of the crowd, and he pointed right at Vince Russo, and he said, "You're the reason why this company has gone to shit." Now that says something. When you have somebody at the stature, regardless of him tarnishing his legacy, with a couple of questionable decisions in here and there, regardless of him tarnishing his legacy, when you have somebody as the stature of Hogan, somebody that was brought in during the twilight of WCW to be WWE, WWF's at the time rival, and for a while they were doing it. They beat out the WWE. When you have somebody that was at the forefront of leading the charge of the Monday Night Wars, hoping that WCW got the best of WWE, when you have somebody that was the catalyst behind that, standing in a ring and proclaiming in front of thousands of people and however many millions were watching at home that you're the reason why the company's going to shit. That is a perfect example of how bad of a booker you are, Vince Russo. If you watch this, or anybody that watches this, there is hardly, I challenge you to find a man that is in a position of power that in the wrestling business that has made as many booking mistakes throughout his career as Vince Russo. You come up with a name, I'll do the research on it, and if you prove me wrong, I'll admit that I was wrong. But for my money, Vince Russo is the most retarded man in the history of professional major wrestling. You can't really count the indies and the stuff that doesn't get the exposure because they don't get the national exposure. So for my money, it's Vince Russo. Now, that's enough about Vince Russo. Last, I gotta say it again. Just anybody that watches this, learn to laugh it off. The people that sing in there are fucking stupid. You see this finger? I'm pointing it at whoever was in charge, be it one person or a couple people, whoever was in charge of that stupid, stupid, stupid fucking shit for TNA. Shame on you. But to be disabled people that take offense to it, don't worry about it. Learn to let it roll off your back, because you're gonna run into idiots like that. Just remember, you're better than them. And, if you don't want to watch their product anymore, don't watch it. They're already barely hanging on. So I say to to anybody actually, not to anybody specific, I say to anybody that's watching this video with any kind of disability, forget about it. It was stupid, and shame on them. So that the gentleman that supposed to be original, as I said before, it was horrible. I agree with you, but you gotta learn to laugh at those things, not in the sense that they're funny, but in the sense that, wow, they're fucking stupid. That's all you gotta do. Yeah, I know you know what it's like to laugh at something when it's retarded. That's all you do in this case. That's just my take on it, and hopefully TNA returns to a decent level at some point and stops this garbage, because it's gotten really bad. Shame on you, TNA, and I tip my hat to you, sir, the gentleman that supposed to be the original to this video. I, however, am just posting a reply, and I just want to let you know I know how you feel, but just anybody that took offense to it, just let it go, man. Life's too short. I'll see you guys later.